Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Xillia. In the last episode, we went to the Tantalon Abyss here in Olympias, and we started the Gathering Miasma side quest, which resulted in us exploring the area, and we found the last of the Ivory treasures. We found the pink emerald that we needed for the Pretty in Pink quest, and we fought the last Devil's Beast at the very bottom. So we've completed a grand total of 3 side quests in the last episode, as well as collecting all of the Ivory treasures. Since the last episode, I've been doing a bit of grinding for materials and stuff, because we are going to be finishing up the Jet Black Feathers side quest today, and because of that, I went to the Tantalon Abyss and I started grinding for items and stuff like that, and I was able to upgrade my characters. This is kind of the items that my characters have right now, so that my shops are kind of like in the high 70s, early 80s at this point in the game. But I went ahead and I grinded for about 48 Jet Black Feathers, because that's the remaining amount that we need. You need a grand total of 454 Jet Black Feathers to complete this side quest. Now that we have enough grand total, we can come here to Sheraton, and we can go ahead and finish the side quest up.
Getting pretty hungry here.
So if you come over here where the trader was, you'll notice that the trader isn't here anymore. In fact, there's a guy right here that's replacing him. It's a merchant. But if you come up here and you can go ahead and start talking to him, you'll initiate the ending of the sub-event. He says, come to see the trader. He left a while ago. Said he had some urgent business to attend to. Darkwing has struck again. He's attacking merchants south of here on Colmar Trail. So that's kind of a hint to where we need to go next. We need to go to Colmar Trail because Darkwing has been spotted there. And, well, like I said, you didn't think that there would be more to the side quest besides just him giving you items for his goods and stuff like that. Him giving you items for the Jet Black Feathers. And I actually found another one, which was kind of funny. It's like I wasn't expecting to find another one. I did. But anyways, we need to come to Colmar Trail. And if you remember where Colmar Trail is, it's on the pathway to Burmia Gorge. Now, Colmar Trail is a little different here. We need to actually go and find him. Like, the sub-event cutscene did not activate when we came here to Colmar Trail. We need to find him. And it kind of can get a little tough here because, well, Colmar Trail is a really deranged, dilapidated pathway branching everywhere kind of area. Granted, it's only one screen, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm really thankful it's only one screen, because that's actually kind of annoying. But you have to actually kind of go around and look for him. He's around here somewhere. But just at this point in the game, the monster shouldn't be any threat to you. I beat that monster in like less than 10 seconds. But around in this episode, I forgot to mention, this is kind of the point where you kind of want to be around late 60s at this point in the game, because of another side quest we're going to be doing later on in the episode. Now, you can be whatever level for this, because it's not really that important. But for the next quest, I would honestly recommend you being really high level 60s at this point, because there is something awaiting us, and, well, it's not fun. And I found another Jet Black Feathers. I'm actually finding more, trying to find Darkwing here in this Colmar Trail. He's actually kind of somewhere around here, and I do believe if you just keep looking around and just trying to find him eventually, like I said before, Colmar Trail is kind of annoying to go around trying to find something, because there's just a lot of branching pathways. But as you see, there's a guy right there. He's harassing a woman. That is the guy we're looking for. So he's at this point in the screen in Colmar Trail, if you're trying to look for him. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and confront him. Please, spare me. You're Darkwing, right? Aren't you supposed to help people? Oh, I used to. That charade proved more trouble than it was worth. It's just the poor from the form to leave eyewitnesses alive. Hold it! I actually kind of made a mistake. That wasn't a woman. That was a guy. I just now realized that. I thought that was a woman from the distance. But yes, we're fighting Darkwing. And for some reason, he got buddies. I don't know how he multiplied into 2 more characters, but honestly, these guys shouldn't give you any trouble. These are pretty much Olympian soldiers. That's pretty much it. They're not even Olympian soldiers. They're like Roshikal army troops. That's it. So these guys really shouldn't give you any trouble.
It's time for a victory pose.
Yeah. Like, see how fast I beat that in like 23 seconds? That's really nothing. But we got a nerf for it. Damn it. This wasn't supposed to happen. The Feather Trader? What are you doing here? Sorry about this. He was my partner. I should have been the one to stop him. Your partner? He and I used to work together as the Darkwings. We'd only steal from the rich and help the poor. So he's a modern-day Robin Hood. We use these feathers because they bring good luck. After we struck a few hundred on our bodies, there was no one alive who could catch us. But his greed got the better of him. He took all of our feathers and became a ruthless thug. So you were collecting the feathers to catch him. Exactly, but I didn't think I had enough feathers yet. We brought you some more. Over 459 feathers. Guess that was enough to beat his luck. It wasn't luck. It was the strength of your resolve that stopped him. Thanks for saying that. The feathers seem to have lost their power, so I'll hope that you'll accept this instead. If you ever find any more jet black feathers, please bring them to my store. I don't want what happened with my partner to ever happen again. So, we got a special item. It's an Excel. That item increases your AC by 1 when you equip it. So it gives you an extra AC point on your character. But we have completed the Jet Black Feather side quest. And you need, I think I said 454. I was mistaken, it was 459. It's just a weird number, that's why I couldn't remember it. But you can actually come back here, and you can actually kind of trade in your feathers still, and he'll still give you items. But the side quest is over at this point. We have completed the side quest. And he says, he brought me more Jet Black Feathers. Want to trade your Jet Black Feathers for items? And you're like, okay, sure. Well, one last look at his store, you can kind of see what he's got. He's got all the stat increasing items, Mega Elixir. He's got really good material for your store and stuff like that. But that's about it. He doesn't have much, and a lot of the materials that you can find in his store, you can actually find in the Tantalon Abyss and an area later in the game. So, honestly, it's not really worth it. But we did get a title called Jet Black Buzzard. And that's completely for turning in 459 Jet Black Feathers. And you would get a trophy at that point. If you didn't get a trophy, you would have gotten a trophy right now for getting that. But that's pretty much it for that. We're done with the Jet Black Feathers shenanigans. So now, our next objective is to go to the Xillia Woods Temple. Now you're probably wondering why we're coming here. Well, we are going to be using those mysterious beads that I kept mentioning from the very beginning of this Let's Play that we needed to hold on to these things. There was 23 in total that we needed to get. Well, now we're going to go ahead and use these. If you come into the Xillia Woods Temple, you'll see in the back there's a gigantic, like, ring right here. If you come up here, hey Mila, look at this. Yes, it does seem like it might fit. I knew it. The jewel fits. Tess, look, someone's here. It's been ages since we had guests. Let's go greet them, Patel. Forgive us for barging in like this. Not at all. Please make yourselves at home. Who are you? I'm Tess, and this is Patel. We're the temple caretakers. You guys must have a lot of time on your hands if you're visiting beat up old temple like this. May I ask what this is? Oh, you mean the Transcendental ring? Using a pattern of 23 jewels, it represents the 3 defining aspects of our world: spirits, humans, and souls. It used to be one of the great wonders of Rize Maxia. But at some point, its jewels were pried out and scattered on the 4 corners of our world. Legends say the Transcendental ring still conceals a secret that is still hidden ever since antiquity. A secret? What kind of secret? No one knows! Even the details of the legend have faded away over the years. Oh my! One of the jewels is back? Did you do this? If you restore all of the jewels, we might learn its secret at last. An ancient secret, huh? It sounds intriguing. So, this is the side quest that you need the mysterious jewels for. Luckily for us, we have gotten all 23. So, let's go ahead and put some more in. Oh, brought us more jewels, have you? Wonderful! Now we have all 23 of them! At last, the Transcendental ring has been restored to its former glory. It's so beautiful. It's very impressive. So, about this ancient secret. A sealing circle holding back some incredible power? Something's coming! Get back!
No fear. What the hell is this?
That's no beast, and it's not a spirit either.
It's scary.
No matter what it is, we cannot allow it to leave these premises.
Agreed. We can do this. Stand your ground, everyone.
This is probably the hardest optional boss in the game. One of the most powerful. These are the Crimson and Azure Servants. The Crimson Servant is at level 68. It's weak to water. This thing sucks. And I'm going to tell you right now, oh gosh, this is probably going to be one of the hardest fights you can ever do. And this is the Azure Servant. It's level 68 too. And it's weak to fire. So you can kind of tell by its color code what it's weak against. Thing is though, trying to exploit these weaknesses is a little hard compared to the fact that it does this. It does a multi-strike attack which will pretty much down anybody. It's a very strong monster, and this is one of the hardest fights in the game because of it. Now there's a couple of hard boss fights, but honestly, I would say this is probably the second hardest boss fight in the entire game. This is probably the strongest of the optional bosses in the main story. But honestly, these fights really suck because these guys do so much damage. They're incredibly high level, and you have to do a complete and utter like collectathon side quest to even fight these things. When I first played this game and I got all 23 of these things, and I wasn't expecting a boss fight. I was like, oh, awesome, a boss fight. Let me go ahead and fight them. And then I saw what level they were. These things are stronger than the Devil's Beasts. And the Devil's Beasts were pretty bad. these guys will go ahead and do it, but they're actually kind of easy to knock down. And honestly, being linked up with some people isn't even worth it. Whenever they attack you with that multi-strike attack, they will cause fear on you, which is a very bad status ailment to have. And having all your healers is a must. That's really all I can really say. And just having Leia and Elise pretty much helps out with all these optional bosses, really. They have darkness-based attacks, which will hurt you if you're weak to dark. But don't be afraid, and I'm being honest with you. If you have to use an Omega Elixir, I wouldn't blame you. These boss fights can be really bad, and you can see how bad my characters are kind of getting down, and I'm at their level. This is exactly why I suggested you be in the high 60s when you actually complete the side quests, because these bosses actually really stink. And Tail Rush is really bad. Chaotic Soul will hurt you a lot. You just want to be away from these things. And honestly, this is one of those things that, like, I can't really explain it unless you actually play it yourself. If you actually play this, you can kind of see how bad it is. And trying to dodge these guys is really kind of hard too, because they are kind of quick. They may be slow moving when they walk over, but their attacks are very quick. So trying to use a snap pivot or something of the similar sort can get really annoying after a while. But you're probably wondering, well, what's my reward for fighting these things? Your reward for fighting these guys is probably Jude's strongest regular art attack. That is your reward for it, so it's actually worth it that you do this. And as you guys can see, I almost got the Azure Servant down for the count. I would just keep spamming any elemental art attacks that you have. Don't be afraid to do so, like I'm spamming Phoenix Plunge, using my fire-based attacks to go ahead and knock out Azure Servant. Good thing about these guys is that their weakness is kind of easy to tell, and that you should have a lot of arts that, you know, can counter them for that and exploit that weakness. But trying to get them all, if they come up and corner you, you can pretty much kiss your butt goodbye. Because trying to fight these things while you're trapped in a corner like that can kind of suck after a while. But we defeated the Azure Servant. All that's left is the Crimson Servant. And he's weak against water, so we're going to get Alvin out here so we can go ahead and use Sharp Current. Use Demonic Chaos. Diving Falcon, and then Inferno Gate. I was trying to actually use another thing. I think I was trying to use as many linked arts as I can, then use my Instacart. Because that's always what I do. Is like when I go into Overlimit, I always use as many linked arts as I can, and you like chain them as much as I can too, and then follow it up right when it's at the very bottom of the gauge while it's draining, and using a Mysticart. I think that's one kind of strategy that I really use to take advantage of Overlimit. But using Sharp Current and other water attacks should be able to defeat the Crimson Servant pretty easily. And using Aqua Sweep and whatnot will knock them down. These enemies are kind of easy to knock down if you exploit your weaknesses and stuff like that. You can kind of see they're kind of knocking down really easily. You can kind of take advantage of that. But really, there's really not much left to talk about these guys except the fact that they suck. And they will charge you. So just be on guard for that whenever you see them back up for a charge. Just be able to do that. Once you defeat one, the difficulty kind of lessens a lot, because then you only have one to deal with. The thing that sucks about this fight is you have two of these things fighting you, so that's pretty much what makes any boss fight with multiple strong characters really stink. But that's pretty much it. But we're almost done. We almost killed this guy. Just a couple more hits and he should be down for the count. So let's go ahead and just knock him out. And no, he's not dead yet. He's got a couple of health left. And I'm at the point where I've run out of TP and I was just like, nope, I can't do it anymore. But we defeated the Crimson Servant.
That was really close.
That was really close. How many times have we died? But we get a reward. The Art Tome one-hit kill. This is what I was talking about. It holds Jude's strongest martial art that he has. So it's really good. And it's a darkness-based attack too. So it's really nice. We'll be able to see it here after this next cutscene.
Just keeps getting better.
But we gained a lot of levels, so it's really good that we got it.
Overcome anything.
But there we go. That was the Crimson and Azure Servant fights. Did I miss the part where you warned us about the monsters? I am so sorry. We had no idea that the Transcendental Ring was sealing away these monsters. Maybe we should destroy it. There's no need. All its spirit power is gone now. Besides, it would be a shame to destroy something so beautiful. Totally. And if those monsters show up again, you better believe it, I'll send them packing. Leia, we barely beat those things. Then it's settled, then. Leia, you're in charge of monster control. No, we'll all do it together. Alright, we should be on our way. I never imagined they would best our minions. And we were so close to breaking Maxwell's seal. But it was kind of fun having those humans around. Indeed, out of our respect for them, we shall temper our efforts. For the moment. Ha! Just admit that you actually enjoy having our souls split in two and sealed in these bodies. Well, I'm certainly not in a hurry to break free. After all, you and I have all the time in the world. Yes, death comes to everything in due time. Lives, world, and even seals. And the only thing that transcends death is Lord of the Underworld. Is Lord of the Underworld. Wow, that was a very ominous, ending to that side quest. But we got another title for defeating the Crimson and Azure Servant boss fights. And that was very creepy ending to that side quest. But what we did get is the one hit kill art tome. If I come up here, it says the tome that grants Jude access to the blunt fang martial arts. This is probably one of the strongest arts that you can actually use for Jude. So I'm going to go ahead and equip it. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get rid of Cerberus Strike and put on Blunt Fang. It's a darkness-infused punch that will kill instantly. Well, it doesn't kill instantly all the time. That would be kind of overpowered. But it has a chance of instant death. So it's really strong. So let's go ahead and equip that. And we're ready for everything. Now, upon completion of this, I have no more side quests for you guys. Yep, that's right. We have completed all of the side quests in the game. We have completed every single side quest. There's 108 in total, and I've showed you in this Let's Play all 108. There's no more side quests left to do in Tales of Xillia. So, pretty much we're at the point where we can go ahead and finish up the game. But there is one more thing we have left to do. One more thing, and it's a long, drawn-out thing that you need to do. Well, you don't really need to. This is completely optional. But the last thing that we need to do before we call this 100% Let's Play is we're going to be doing the Colosseum fights in Shandu. Do you guys remember me going when we were back in Chapter 2 and I looked at the Colosseum? There was a green exclamation mark around the entry point. That is the entry point to the to the Colosseum fights. And not only that, there's a lot of Colosseum fights, and you do get kind of unique weapons and materials and stuff like that out of the way. At this point, what I'm doing right now is I'm using those stat increasing items I'm talking about that I saved up for the the whole Let's Play. I'm using them right now because the Colosseum kind of requires it. there are going to be fights in the Coliseum that are unique to your bestiary. So if you're trying to complete your bestiary book, you need to go do all the Coliseum fights. Not only that, they have really strong boss fights. And by really strong boss fights, you're fighting a couple of familiar faces in them. So I'm going ahead and using up all my stat increasing items that I've gotten over here. The best way you can describe it is, the way I handle it is, if a character is strong in that stat, I increase on it, if I can. Now, there's some situations where I don't do that, but I kind of increase that stat a little bit further if it's, you know, if they're strong in that stat. So, like, let's say Jude is strong in attack. And he's the strongest one in attack. I'm going to use all the attack ones on Jude to kind of get him as high as he can go. Just sort of say. That's kind of how I increase my stats and stuff like that. I used to, back in the RPG days, I used to give it to the lowest person. I don't know why. I always thought it would help them and benefit them, you know, if they're lacking a certain, you know, stat and stuff like that. But over the years, I realized that's really not the most effective way of doing it. The most effective way of doing it is increasing what they're good at. And I learned that through... out of all the things where I learned this was none other than EV training with Pokemon. EV training and IV breeding. That is honestly where I learned that point in an RPG. It's best to increase a stat that they're good at, rather than what they're lacking. What they're lacking, they're always going to be lacking, no matter what they do. But what they're good at, you can always increase that and further that. But pretty much I've increased all my stats on my characters and whatnot. I have, you know, fully healed everybody. Everybody's pretty high level at this point. And not only that, we've completed all the main storyline stuff besides the final dungeon. We have gone and we have completed every single side quest in the game. If you are playing a certain story, I think in Jude's story it's around 100 and some odd side quests. I think it's like 101 or something like that. Mila's it's like 90 something. But there's a grand total across both stories, 108 side quests. We have shown every single one of them in this game. So we have no more side quests left to do. But in the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia, we are going back to Shandu, and we are taking on the Coliseum. So with that, I will see you guys in the next episode.